Good morning, students. Welcome back. We have started with the Political Science Chapter 1 Power Sharing. In the previous lecture, I have discussed you about the problem of Belgium. Let us recap what Belgium has a problem. Number 1, how power sharing is handled by the democracies, and we learned how necessary it is to share power in a democracy wisely. I have told you about the Belgium, the geographical position. Number 1, small country in Europe bordered by or the neighboring countries are Luxembourg, Netherlands, France and Germany. Point 2, it is smaller in area than the state of Haryana in India. Geographical position, small country in Europe bordered by Netherlands, France and Germany. See this map. With the map you will be able to understand the location and geographical position of Belgium. Belgium, how power sharing is handled by democracy, and we learn how necessary it is to share power in a democracy wisely. Area and population, the population is a little over 1 crore, area half of the state of Haryana. Ethnic composition, 59% people live in Flemish region, they were speaking Dutch, 40% live in Wallonia region speaking French, and 1% people live in Belgium speak German. The capital Brussels, there were 80% people speaking French, 20% people speaking Dutch. Important point is, in Brussels, the Dutch speaking people are in minority, which is the opposite to the rest of the country where they are in majority. The minority population of French speaking people was richer than the Dutch speaking people. The majority community was given benefits much later. So because of this, there was a tension between the two communities in 1950s and 1960s. Tension was more acute in the capital city of Brussels. We have gone through all these things. Let us move on to the power sharing in Sri Lanka. As I told you in the previous lecture that Sri Lanka is a neighboring state in Asia. Let us see what is the geographical position of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a small island in Asia on the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. The population is same as the population of Haryana, nearly 2 crore people. Ethnic composition is 74% people are Sinhalese speaking and 18% people are Tamil speaking. 13% are the natives of Sri Lanka. They are known as Sri Lankan Tamils, and remaining are the people who migrated from India. They were known as Indian Tamils. The rest are called Tamils, who are descendants of the plantation workers who came from India during the colonial period. Now, what had happened during the colonial period when Britishers were ruling India? Some of the people, they worked in Sri Lanka as a plantation worker. They migrated to Sri Lanka. Now they are the part and citizen of the Sri Lanka community and the country. They are known as Sri Lankan Indian Tamils. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Now let us first find out the meaning of majoritarianism. A belief that only the majority community should rule a country, make laws for everyone, and the total disregard to the wishes and the need of the minority. Majority dominating minority. That is the major meaning of majoritarianism. But in a democratic country, this is disastrous. Religion. Most of the Sinhala speaking people in Sri Lanka are Buddhist. Most of the Tamils are either Hindus or Muslims. Christian constitute 7% of the population and they belong to both Sinhalas and Tamil communities. Now Sri Lanka became independent in 1948. Moment Sri Lanka got the independence, it immediately adopted measures to impose Sinhala's supremacy since they were in majority. See the picture of a Sinhala man, giving an idea how the Sinhalas live. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Let us see some of the examples. Point 1. It made Sinhalese the official language of the country by an act in 1956 and ignored Tamil completely. Now what had happened? A country having Sinhalese and Tamils living together and the majority people are making their own language as the national language of the country, ignoring Tamil, creating problem for the country. Point 2. It made a preferential policy to favor Sinhala speaking people in all government jobs and educational institutions. The people who belong to Sinhala community, those who speak Sinhalese language, they were preferred in the government jobs and in the educational institutions, ignoring the Tamils. Point 3. It promoted and protected Buddhism. Now, what are the results of the majoritarianism in Sri Lanka? It might be different. It might not be the same as it was in Belgium. Let us see, point wise. The Tamils felt alienated. Alienated means they felt that they are not a part of this country. No respect or recognition was given to their language, culture, and religion. The Tamils feeling alienated, no recognition to their language, to culture, and to their religion are the signs which can lead to the civil war. They began to struggle for equality in jobs. As I told you earlier, the Sinhalese were given the preference in the jobs, entry to the universities, recognition of their language and culture. Slowly and steadily, what had happened? This conflict between Tamils and Sinhalese changed into a demand for regional autonomy. Now, Tamils started that they need a regional autonomy. Autonomy means freedom. The Tamils were grouped together in the north and eastern part of the Sri Lanka, but their demands were ignored. The moment the demands were ignored, the conflict became more severe, and by the 1980s, the Tamilian demand had changed. Now they wanted Tamil Ilam. Ilam stands for state or a country in the north and eastern part of Sri Lanka, and Sinhalese were not prepared to give this. This led to a civil war which killed thousands of the people on the both sides, Sinhalese as well as Tamilians. The flourishing economy of Sri Lanka had disappeared, and the conflict has given a blow to social, cultural, economic life of Sri Lanka. Before this war, Sri Lankan economy was flourishing, rising, growing, but due to this civil war between the two communities, there was a severe blow to social, cultural, and economic life in Sri Lanka. Conclusion. Now we can conclude that Belgium, unlike Sri Lanka, has taken a totally different stand. It amended the constitution to accommodate every ethnic community, with the result that it did not suffer from civil war, demands for autonomy, or partition of the country, whereas Sri Lanka did not accommodate the demands of Tamils, leading to civil war, leading to the demands of autonomy, and leading to the partition of the country. So it is very, very important that power sharing is must in a democratic setup. Now let me give you some homework. Dear children, do the comparative study between Belgium and Sri Lanka regarding power sharing. What you have to do is, first you make the points, the story of Belgium. Second, the points and story of Sri Lanka. Compare the two stories and write down the point. Read the next topic and we will continue with this power sharing chapter. Thank you. Be happy and work hard. God bless you.